there is a lot going on in Cleveland sports, and trust me, there's a lot going on at the event we are at today. We are the Voice of the Land podcast, partnered with LPD Productions, and of course, we want to thank our great partners, Greenie Sports Cards, for inviting us out to their big card show today. You can come out to the Woodside Event Center in Broadview Heights from now until 3 o'clock this afternoon. $2 admission. They had some VIP at 8 o'clock as everyone was kind of setting up. You saw some people walking in and plenty of cards, plenty of memorabilia all around us just on the other side of the camera. As boy, oh boy, this is what you would expect from a card show. If you've never been out to one, it is a spectacle to behold. I'm Kevin Arnold. He is Ryan Mosser. Ryan, this has got to be a heck of an experience for anybody that comes out here today.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. I mean, I see probably 30, 40 tables, so much memorabilia, so many cards. I'm looking at Jim Thome signed baseballs and Jose Ramirez, jerseys. I see Browns helmets, cards everywhere, Pokemon cards. You guys got to come and check this out. This is awesome. Greenies is putting on a spectacle here for sure.
Little applause for our friends at Greenie Sports.
Kevin's got a hold of the button for sound effects.
Nobody should give me the sound effects button because that is going to that's not going to go so well. But we're going to jump into the Guardians and their playoff run. Of course, Ohio State has a bye week, but plenty of big games in college football. We will touch on that. Browns, Packers. Boy, I guess we would not be doing our jobs if we didn't talk about that. Little high school football, and coming up in about 20 minutes, we are going to be joined by head coach of the Kent State basketball team, men's basketball team, Rob Senderoff. Want to get his thoughts on what the upcoming season and what he's doing out here today, because he said he's behind a table. He's out here all day. Plus, we are going to open a pack of cards today and announce a new giveaway as well for some NFL cards to get into the NFL season. Ryan, we would be remiss though if we didn't start with the Cleveland Guardians, who are now 2.5 games back in the division.
Yeah.
A game and a half out of the wild card. This team has won 8 in a row, 13 of their last 14. You can never, ever count the Cleveland Guardians out.
Dude, it's crazy. And the fact that, they swept Detroit. We have Detroit again. We're only, I think it's 2.5 games back behind in the division. And there's not a lot of games left. I think there's 8 games total left in the season, and it's going to come down to the wire. Detroit has the Red Sox coming up too, which is going to be hard, and obviously the Red Sox are ahead of us to the wild card as well. So there's lots of opportunities right now for the Guardians to make the wild card, maybe even win the division, which is insane to talk about right now at the end of the season.
It is, and I mean, the pitching staff just continues to have success, even if they only go 5 innings.
Right.
You're getting multiple strikeouts. You're getting, effort. Like, you look at Tanner Bybee just 2 days ago in that finale. He's technically not facing Tarek Skubal, but it's a matchup of, okay, you're supposed to be the ace, Tanner. They got their ace on the mound. You're going to have to keep this team in the game until they can take advantage of whatever offensive opportunities they get. And Tanner did that job. He got in trouble in the first inning. I don't know if you saw his post-game comments. Zach Meisel, The Athletic, wrote an article about it as well. And Tanner said, people were trying to figure out what's different, because he's been inconsistent this year.
Right.
And you wouldn't expect that from a guy that has that ace mentality. He's supposed to be your ace without Shane Bieber here anymore, especially. And he's always had maybe that 1 or 2 big innings where he's given up runs this year, and that's kind of been his downfall. But the last 2 or 3 starts, he's been really, really good, and especially just 2 starts ago, he goes a complete game shutout since 2019.
Yeah, awesome.
And that's what you expect from your ace. And people are trying to ask him after the game in Detroit, what's different? And he talks about how, Joey Cantillo has been very good for this team as well.
Yeah.
He's kind of been up and down from AAA to the big league club, and it seemed to help Joey. It seemed to help John Kenzie Noel. And even last year you saw with Manzardo.
Right.
When he came back up in September, he was a different player than we saw in the regular season. So after Joey goes, I think, 8 innings strong against Chicago, Tanner asked him, like, he had asked him in the clubhouse, like, what's different? And Joey says, I threw a lot of bleep you fastballs.
There you go. Yeah, that's the mentality you got to have, too, man. But, I don't know. I mean, Bybee, what was it, 3-4 games ago, him and Vogt were getting into it in the dugout, and now just to have this complete turnaround, especially in the face of adversity with Clase and Ortiz going on. Obviously, they have completely turned around from that and removed their lockers and all that stuff. But that could be a defining scenario for a team, and it could be really easy then for them to lose. They lost the starting pitcher, they lost their closer, and they could have just sat down and died, but they didn't. They fought back, they brought guys up, and this team looks amazing. Bybee looks so much better. He looks like the guy who should be starting the season in the game opener, and that's awesome, because for a while there we didn't know if he was going to be the ace for our team. So it looks like we might have a few of them. So.
And you mentioned them, like the issues that they had with the betting allegations and losing players. What did they do at the trade deadline?
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. They got rid of pieces.
Carlos
They didn't bring anything in to this team, and yet this young group just has this mentality that I know people and fans struggle all the time with sports cliches.
Yeah.
They really, really do. And trust me, it's for me. That's its first, and unfortunately, things they never. And that's not just a shot. That's just a fact. It's the unfortunate we have to deal with as fans, and we'll talk about them later on in the show. But this team talks about all the time. We literally play one game at a time.
Yep.
And that was a mentality that was brought by Terry Francona that Stephen Vogt has put his little last night.
Yeah.
So you have to give so much credit to Stephen Vogt and this team for taking one game at a time. They approach every game like it's a playoff game. That can bring a lot of pressure to you, but this team they operate underneath that pressure umbrella, and it's fun and it's exciting to see, and that's why you connect so much with the Guardians. You connect so much with the Cavs because they talk about it and they go out and they execute on it.
Exactly.
Except if you're the Cavs and you get in the second round. But that's questions for coming up in this season.
Yeah. Yeah, what a turnaround too. The mentality of making this. Every game is a playoff game. That's the reality of it. We were in a hole, and the fact that they just go out there, we shouldn't be where we're at. We don't have the best bats. We don't have the best pitching, but these guys have heart, and no matter what, they're gonna play until the end of the game. And it's really refreshing that we have someone that we had Tito Francona, one of the best to ever do it, and now it looks like Vogt is next in line. Like, he's looking really good. Like you said, he's going to be a candidate for Coach of the Year, and it's really, really refreshing. Now, hopefully they don't. They have 8 more games to go. They have some tough games. They play the Twins twice, the Tigers 3 times, which would be the biggest series of the year. We're so fortunate that that's at the end of the season too, and it's this close. Like, that's going to define the division and probably the wild card.
And I'm not saying, like, I'm not guaranteeing that they're making the playoffs. Like,
No.
it seems like they're on that track, and they're definitely the hottest team in baseball right now. If they get into the wild card, they win the division. If you are the hottest team in baseball going into the playoffs, that means something in the baseball playoffs to have that kind of momentum at the end. And we've seen a lot of Guardians and Indians teams go into the playoffs, and they haven't been the hottest team.
Right.
You know, like they've had a great start, and it was last year where they got off to the hot start. They kind of leveled off or plateaued, I'd say, last year, and still made it to Game 5 of the ALCS.
Yeah.
But momentum means something. It's not always the best team in Major League Baseball that wins the World Series. Sometimes it's the team that's the hottest. So if they get in, they're going to be a problem to deal with. I'm not guaranteeing that is going to happen. That's too superstitious for me, but also too presumptuous for me, because with 8 games, there's still so much to be figured out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but to be playing meaningful baseball, Ryan, like, you got to admit,
so refreshing.
In September, it's refreshing, and yes, we need to hold our teams to high standards. I'm not saying this is a moral victory for what we're getting in September. It's impactful, though, what we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, a majority of the fans were ready to write this team off during that 10-game losing streak. I mean, I was one of them. I was like, man, this team is boring to watch. I don't want to watch them. That was in the midst of us losing our pitchers, and the turnaround. It's just incredible what this team does. And like you said, momentum is everything, especially late in the season. It's every single game is an individual game, and anything can happen. And with the momentum that is going in, Detroit, they've lost the last 4 now, I think. I mean, they got swept by us. You said they lost to Atlanta yesterday. Where are they? Mentality, right? I don't know. I mean, I sure just swept you, and you got in 3 games, and for another series, and that's going to define the division. And
No, go ahead.
No, I just think it's really, really awesome. It's a testament to how well this team is managed, and how well they just rally against or with each other. It's really cool.
Peter just texted, and he's sitting off to the side. Of course, he's never going to be on camera. You're never going to see Peter tell it. But we have people that are here at the card show, and you got to come out. Woodside Event Center, Broadview Heights, Ohio. Come check out Greenie Sports Cards, their card show. They got 100 tables of cards and memorabilia.
Wow.
100 tables, and it's kind of amazing, like, how they fit it into this space.
Truly.
But there's still plenty of room for you to walk around. You're not in anybody's way or anything like that. And plenty of people wearing Guardians and Indians gear today, knowing like how great that is. But someone was trying to talk to Peter, so we went up and talked to him right off to our left here, and they're saying, Vogt is great, but Jose is the inspiration behind this team.
Absolutely.
Look at that home run in Detroit,
dude.
He runs down the first baseline every single time.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Helmet popping off and everything.
When your best player is the hardest worker on your team, that is what a leader is. That's what we've asked Myles Garrett to be. While he works hard on his body, and he's the physical freak, and he's always going to make the play. There's those moments where you question, like, is he the hardest worker in the room?
Right.
And
all out every single play.
Go all out every single play. As I believe I see J.W. Johnson, one of the CEOs, right behind us. But Jose Ramirez is that inspiration for this team. That's what you want your leader to be. Yeah. You want him to be the first one in, the last one out, the hardest worker. You can complain about LeBron all you want about, does he say the right thing? Does he, is he, does he too presumptuous about trying to get people to call him the greatest of all time? There's little criticisms of LeBron, but what has every teammate always said about him? He, literally, I think Boobie Gibson used to say when he was a rookie, he tried to be the first one in the building. Yeah. He tried to beat LeBron to the building. He never, ever could. Yeah. And LeBron was the last one there. That's why LeBron's been able to go for 23 years. That's why Jose Ramirez is still able to produce as he gets into his 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jose, how lucky are we? Dude takes a discount to be in Cleveland. He not only is the best on our team, one of the best in baseball in general, but also just like is the prime example of what you want your leader in the locker room to be. Austin Hedges is also a leader, but the difference between Hedges and Jose, Hedges is gonna probably be a coach. He's a very well-spoken coach, guy. He doesn't really lead by example on the field, but he's a huge part of this team. And Jose, last year we had Andre Knott on the show, and he talked about how when Hedges wasn't here, Jose said, who we're missing when he was talking to the front office is that guy, and he pointed to Hedges. Now Hedges is back, and you can see he's going to become a coach. But Jose, we're so lucky. He takes a discount. He's just everything that we could want him to be and more. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the Guardians, of course, they still have 8 more games. They have 3 still in Minnesota. The weather is not looking the greatest, but both teams are off on Monday.
3 or 2?
3, because they have a doubleheader today.
Oh, okay.
They have to make one up, and that's where that half the game and all of these differentials that they have in the standings, they've played one less game, so that's where they could at least close off that half game today if they can get both in. But there's rain in the forecast all weekend in Minnesota. Monday might be a day where they're both off and they have to make it up, which would be a tough situation.
Right.
If there's any team that can come through that and have to go through that kind of adversity and then come right home and not have that day off before you face Detroit and have to get in that right mindset, it would be the Cleveland Guardians. We will be joined by Coach Rob Senderoff of Kent State here in just a few minutes. Guardians playing well, Ohio State football playing well. They have a bye week this week before they finally get into Big Ten play next week. I know a lot of people don't like it, and you don't have Ohio State to watch. There are plenty of big games, and we'll kind of bookend this conversation around Coach Senderoff as it comes over. He's at a table, kind of doing some negotiations with some cards right now. So we'll get him on when we can. But you got a few good top 25 matchups today. I think
Oklahoma, Auburn.
College game day is in Florida today for Miami and Florida. I mean, if Florida's going to do anything this year, they have to get that game against Miami. And their coach is going to save their season. They're going to have to try to win that game. You got Texas Tech and Utah as the big noon game on Fox. That's a 16 versus 17 matchup. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. You mentioned
Auburn, Oklahoma. Interesting story there. Jackson Arnold used to be the quarterback at Oklahoma. He kind of struggled, lost his way a little bit. Yep. And has definitely found a home in Auburn. And John Mateer, looks like Baker Mayfield out there, bro.
And Pete, you may not like hearing that, but he's one of the best quarterbacks in college right now. Him and Carson Beck, who people said does he even love football?
Right.
And he's just, I think sometimes when you do, sometimes you need a breath of fresh air. Yep. You need to go somewhere else. And I think that's what the transfer portal allows. Now, does it get convoluted in the transfer portal? These days, absolutely. I would love to talk to Coach Senderoff about, how that impacts a school like Kent State. But the transfer portal is a real thing, but it's giving some of these guys that do have that extra eligibility a chance to, for Carson Beck, reconnect with the game of football and fall in love with it again. And he's looking like the guy that was projected as the number 1 pick last year.
He also got paid $10 million. So that
it helps.
I'd go play for Miami for $10 million too. Obviously, his girlfriend goes to Miami too. I'm sure that wasn't a big factor for him going there. But nonetheless, the transfer portal, it's great. And it's not so great. It's great for the fact that, it can give teams opportunities, get players who maybe were stuck behind somebody or, maybe just didn't mesh well with the program, and it gives them opportunity to go elsewhere. Dylan Gabriel played for 3 different schools, and now he's an NFL player. It happens a lot. I think the transfer portal, I wish that they would just do 1 portal instead of 2, but the argument, with teams in the top 25 or late in the playoffs and stuff, they might miss out on that or not be able to prep as much. So that's what big teams are arguing. But in general, I like the portal. It gives everyone an opportunity. And like I said, now we have the rhetoric or the story of Jackson Arnold playing against his former team, and John Mateers light it up. This is going to be a fun game. And, without that portal, we wouldn't have this opportunity. So,
I mean, you also look at a game that it's not a top 25 for both teams type of matchup, but if a team wants to move into the top 25 and feel like they're back under Coach Matt Rule, that's Nebraska hosting that team up north and Bryce Underwood today at 3:30 on CBS. That's going to be a big one there in the Big Ten because you have Ohio State, you have Oregon, you have Penn State. Those are kind of seen as the top three. Who is that number 4? And this is kind of a battle for that.
There's a couple of teams out there, but it's we'll see. I mean, Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola look really good. Raiola, I mean, he's emulating his game off Patrick Mahomes. He got the haircut. He does everything. What Mahomes does on the field, I like to see a little better. I mean, they have a great receiver in Nazir Hunter, who I like a lot. But this, like I said, this is gonna be a fantastic game, and you cannot let Nebraska. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Bryce Underwood. I know he's a freshman. I know he was supposed to be at LSU. He got paid big money to go over. He has not looked great. He looked good last game, but they weren't playing anybody. This will be the biggest test so far, I think, for him. Excuse us real quick. We're going to have Coach jump on, and I'm going to hop off real quick, and we will be ready.
Yeah, we're going to be joined by Coach Rob Senderoff here in just a moment as he will sit down. We'll have a conversation with him, as Ryan was kind of talking about, with Bryce Underwood at that school up north. But we'll get back into that conversation. Coach Senderoff from Kent State men's basketball is joining us. First of all, what are you doing out here behind the tables here at Greenie Sports Cards?
Listen, this is I have a very few days that are available to me that I start practice on Wednesday, official practice. Tomorrow morning we have our conditioning test to be able to practice. And I had this Saturday off. I was recruiting yesterday. I flew down to Orlando and back in the same day, and got back at 1 a.m. And I woke up very early. I got my coffee, and this is my day. This is I guess you call it my day off, because this is a fun day for me.
What do you love about this kind of environment, this kind of atmosphere? Because collecting cards has always been a big thing, but it feels like it's had like a big uptick in recent years as well.
I'm one of the got into the uptick. That's what I guess I'd say. It's a funny story because I had a recruit at my home a year ago around this time, maybe a little earlier than this, and he is a collector. And when he was at my home with his son for their visit, I had a couple ticket stubs from the '86 World Series that I went to with my dad. I'm from New York, when the ball went through Bill Buckner's legs.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and I showed it to him, and he said, you need to get those graded, and those may be worth something, which they're not, because they're graded as a 1.5 or a 2, but there's no price tag for me on those anyway, because that's probably my favorite childhood memory with my father. And then I had all of these cards that I was showing him, some Koufax rookies, and I collected. I had a ton of Wade Boggs and Barry Bonds and Ryan Sandberg. So he said, hey, you need to get some of these graded. And Greenie has always been around our program and has helped us in a number of different ways. So I called Greenie the next day. I said, hey, man, I got to figure out a way to get these things graded, and let's go through this box if you have an hour. And we went through, and I got a bunch graded, and then I sort of have become a pester to him in that every week, every couple days, I'm sending him and Adam pictures of cards that I bought or that I'm looking at on eBay or that I might have gotten in a break. And, what do you think? What do you think? And when I get a chance, I come over here to hang out with them.
What's been like the best card, or that best thing you've kind of found or been able to get your hands on? Yeah,
my best cards. That's a good one. I have a Frank Thomas no name in graded 4.5. That's probably my most valuable card. I have a Jordan sticker that I'm getting graded right now that I'll be really interested to see how it comes back. what I really want is a Jordan rookie, and I have not gotten that yet. If somebody who has one in a good grade that wants to trade for that Frank Thomas no name, I would prefer the Jordan personally. So I'm happy to do that if I find the right one. But yeah, I'm just and I've got a couple Mahomes and Brady's rookies that are good cards that I'll keep. I told my daughter comes with me to some of these shows, and I tell her, some point, I hope a long time from now, she should not hold on to them. She should sell them all. But because I'm holding on to them until one day when I'm no longer here for that purpose. So I hope it's a long time from now that she can sell them and go on vacation or do whatever she wants to do with it at that point. But this is a lot of fun for me.
Absolutely, yeah. I know I've been trying to look through the cards that I've collected over the years and start to bug Greenie a little bit and start to see what I have. Let's switch gears a little bit. Coach Rob Senderoff of Kent State basketball. Don't want to take up too much of his time, but you do have practice starting on Wednesday, conditioning test tomorrow. So the college basketball season is right around the corner. You guys go 24-12 last year, got 7 returners. What is Kent State basketball looking like in 2025, 2026?
Yeah, I hope and I expect for us to be one of the teams. Our league is very, very competitive with a lot of good teams, and I'd like to hope, the goal is every year to be in the mix, to have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament, to have a chance to be one of those teams competing for a championship. So we're fortunate we have a number of good players back. We brought in some transfers and some really good high school players. Certainly a kid from Cleveland that people would know from St. Ignatius, Quinn Wilkie, who's an awesome kid and a really, really good player as a freshman who I think is going to help us. And, excited to get it going. November 3rd is our first home game at home. We have 17 home games this year in the MAC Center, which is the most in my 15 years as a head coach. So a lot of opportunities for local people to come see us play. And again, our league is really competitive, and I think we'll have a chance to compete, I hope, amongst the top teams in our league.
It's definitely an atmosphere there in the MAC Center, that's for sure.
Great
the MAC is so good. Now, you guys are doing a couple tournaments early in the year. Talk about those and kind of the competition, especially in that non-conference, how that helps you as the season goes.
Yeah, so we'll play in the Greenbrier, which is down in West Virginia. We play 2 neutral site games. It's actually against 2 Horizon League teams in Cleveland State and Wright State, but playing that in a neutral site on a ballroom is a good experience for our players. The Greenbrier is, I've never been there, but I've been told it's an unbelievable golf resort actually. But they put a basketball court in the ballroom, so we'll play them. We play Purdue after Christmas. They're preseason number 1 in the country. It seems like every year in the non-conference we play the preseason number 1 or number 2 team in the country. We played Auburn last year, Houston the year before, Gonzaga. So we try to give ourselves tough games there. And then this year in particular, our third home game is against UNC Wilmington, which maybe people who don't follow basketball wouldn't know, but they're a premier mid-major basketball program. It's going to be a really, really challenging game. Our conference does something with the Sun Belt, so on November 3rd we'll play Troy, who's averaged 20-plus wins a year, just like we have over the last 5 or 6 years. So another really competitive game in the MAC Center, and should get us ready for league play, and we actually open league play on December 20th on the road at UMass, which they will instantly become one of the premier programs in our conference with their history. Coach Calhoun was coaching there. Dr. J played at UMass. So we're their first MAC game in their history, and it's going to be a great opportunity for us. It's on the road. We only play them once this year.
And in my background, working at 850 ESPN Cleveland, where we've kind of broadcast the games, the reach of college basketball, Kent State basketball, MACtion basketball is definitely grown over the years. You talk about, though, bringing in some transfers and things like that. How is like the evolution of this transfer portal and NIL especially, how has that impacted MAC schools and especially Kent State?
Yeah, it's impacted everybody, right? It has, and we've been fortunate that the vast majority of our players have chosen to come back to Kent because they do have options as to whether to stay or leave. And with instant eligibility, the NIL piece with how much money kids can get someplace to play, it's a constant. For us, we're constantly evolving and asking our administration to give more and our fan base to give more when they can. Because this is now the new reality of college athletics. We're never going to be able to, nor do we need to do what Ohio State is doing because, they're playing in a different ballpark than we are. But we need to maintain our competitiveness within our league. And there's an investment that goes into that. And in college athletics, that investment comes from your fan base, your alums, those that went to your school and say, you know what, our basketball program is one of, if not the front porch for our university. It may not be the direct front porch, but it's one of them. And we're on TV, we get broadcasts locally. People know how we've done. And Kent has, one of the best fashion schools in America. Yeah. It has one of the brand new business school, which is an unbelievable building on campus, an aeronautics program. You name it, we have so many great things in Kent. But the basketball program, because of our visibility and our athletics department, lets people know about the school, and then they get to see, boy, I didn't realize nursing is such a great degree there, and education, and on and on. So we need that investment from our donors, from our alums, from our fans, from those that care about seeing Kent State continue to be a successful university to help us so that we can maintain our competitiveness.
You bring up a great point there because, I've had some of my coaching in youth athletics. I've had some of my former soccer players go through Kent, and I've recently learned about the great fashion program and the education program that they had. And I'm past that point. Like, I had gone to school already and still finding out about these great programs. Like, I think that is important. And in the MAC, look, there's parity in college basketball. But the upsets, the Cinderellas in March Madness don't, that it's more prevalent now because I think that there's so much talent across the board.
There's a lot of good players. You're right. There's a lot of good players. And now, there was the COVID year where you guys were in college longer and older. So there's a lot of different dynamics that go into, maintaining success and having success. And you can flip your program quicker now than ever before because that was always a difficult thing. The traditional powerhouses of college basketball, there's more upstarts now than before because the ability to level out the talent field is there through the transfer portal, through NIL, through that investment in your team. And, we're trying to do the best we can do, for our players at Kent State, give them the best experience we can as players, help them develop into young men, maintain a high level of success, be competitive in the MAC, be competitive nationally. Last year, we beat Stanford in the NIT. Yep. We beat Stanford at Stanford. First ACC win. Hard to know that Stanford's in the ACC, but first ACC win for Kent State in 20-plus years. And they had only lost 2 games at home to Kent State and to Duke last year. Those are their only 2 home losses Stanford had. So, there is parity. It's really competitive, and every game, you've got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to go, and looking forward to it because it's an exciting time for us as coaches. We're starting the journey with this team, and excited to see what we can do.
Coach Rob said. Kent State men's basketball coach, joining us here on the Voice of the Land at the Greenie Sports Card Show in the Woodside Event Center in Broadview Heights, Ohio. Last one for you because I see a lot of people getting up to your table.
You're good. No worries.
I know a lot of people jump in and they tune in to college basketball in late February and March.
March.
What would be your message? Because I'm someone that I try to tune in at all times because that excitement is there all year long. And I don't think people realize that. What would be your message to people to, kind of come back and watch college basketball
Yeah,
throughout the
in
season.
November, December. That's a great point. And I think what teams in college basketball are doing is they're trying to put more really good matchups early in the season, just like you've seen with college football. With now that they've expanded the playoffs, you're seeing great non-conference games. You know, you had Texas, Ohio State to open the season. You know, you have Notre Dame's huge games. So college basketball is following suit there, and you're going to see some unbelievable matchups early, which hopefully get people excited. For us, you know, we're not going to get Duke in Madison Square Garden. That's just not happening for Kent State. But what we've tried to do, again, is the league has done this matchups with the Sun Belt, which is how we open the year. And then we've tried at Kent to get as many home games as we can when our students are still in session. So that's why we play November 3rd, November 7th, November 10th, all three at home when our students are in town, because the arena and the atmosphere at Kent, when you have the students along with the community, it makes a really, really cool environment, and it's relatively inexpensive towards comparative to the pros. You get a little bit more intimacy in that my players, after the game, they go up, we talk for 5 minutes, and then they're back down on the court, seeing their family, interacting with kids that may stay after. I got Greenie making cards for these guys so that kids can go get their autographs after games, and you've got the school spirit that just is different with the band and the cheerleaders and all that stuff. So November 3, 7, 10, we start off the season with 3 straight home games. Troy, Cornell, who's a really, really good Ivy League program, and then UNC Wilmington, who again is amongst the best mid-majors in the country. And I'm hoping we can gather some excitement there through those games.
Well, you can always get tickets. I know you can always get tickets at KSUTix.com. That's KSUTix.com. I do the commercials for you guys.
I was going to say, the guy who does the tickets for our office, and he'll be happy you gave that shout out, because I didn't remember it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Rob Senderoff, we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
We would love to. I know you're busy during the season, but we'll try to keep track of it here on the Voice of the Land.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
so, Coach Rob Senderoff, there he goes from the Kent State men's basketball team, the head coach. Plus, of course, he is out here at a table, so you can come see him until 3 o'clock at the Woodside Event Center in Broadview Heights, Ohio. What a great conversation there with Coach Rob Senderoff. I mean, I got Peter texting me over here about asking about the NIL and stuff like that. And I was already going to talk about that, because in the MAC, like that is an impact. The transfer portal, NIL, to stay competitive and be able to have these mid-majors still be as competitive as they are when you get to the tournament in March. Yeah. That's so important, because that's what makes that tournament. And Kent State has made a run in 2000 with Antonio Gates, Hall of Fame tight end. They made a run to the Elite Eight. Like those runs are actually possible. Right. George Mason made it to the Final Four. Those types of runs are more prevalent or more possible now because of the parity in college basketball. But that parity is, I wouldn't say in jeopardy yet, but there's definitely question marks behind NIL and transfer portal, how that can still operate. And when you have great coaches like Rob Senderoff, those programs are still going to have success.
Yeah, and I think recruiting locally for these smaller schools is going to be a huge thing. I mean, there are a lot of really good players in Ohio, Pennsylvania, just around the area. So for MAC schools, they might get coached every year, but as long as they're in the gyms and with the high schools around here, they can find some really good players, and hopefully players that will stay with their team for more than just a few years because of NIL. One thing I did hear about Coach talking about how they were playing the Greenbrier, he mentioned that they put a basketball court inside of the ballroom, and I think that's first off, that's unheard of. That's really cool. But second off, I think that's just going to be a spectacle. That's going to be such a cool sight to see. Something that you don't normally see. One of those ice hockey games inside, a stadium or something like that. This is a basketball court inside of a very fancy ballroom. That's going to be pretty cool. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And I know Cleveland fans, they hear Greenbrier and they're like, the place the Browns went for their training camp and it didn't help. Yeah. They were just in a lap of luxury and all of that. And that's why they had to be more intense this year. And even the intense practices hasn't helped because they're 0-2. Trust me, I've heard from the people that covered the Browns down there, people that have been there. They like that is going to be a spectacle to see, and it's cool to see a college basketball atmosphere being taken down there. This is the Voice of the Land. We are at the Greenie Sports Cards Card Show. Broadview Heights, Ohio. Come out and see these guys. We got cards here. We're going to open one box and we're going to give one away here or tell you how you can get one of these boxes. We haven't opened the plastic on it. We'll tell you about that in just a second, but we are here, Broadview Heights, Ohio, Woodside Event Center. Come on out until 3 o'clock. 100 tables of cards and memorabilia for you to check out, make some deals, get your hand on some cool stuff. Has his cards here. He just got into it because of a recruit. Talking
cool, man.
A year ago, seeing that he had his tickets from the World Series. That's when that ball went through Buckner's legs. With the Red Sox, and then he realized they have value, but that led to the conversation of I've got cards that have value. Let me talk to Steve Greenberg from Greenie Sports Cards, and they already have a connection down there at Kent State. So it's just kind of cool how those stories and how people get into this. Like whether you've been collecting cards your whole life or it's just started. I mean, this is the time to get into it.
Crazy how lucrative this is too. Like I was standing, just out the side here when Coach was talking. I saw some 10-year-old just sell 2 cards for a couple $1,000s, which is insane. Like literally, I'm not kidding. Yeah, just hundreds dropping down. Like it's so cool how just the community has rallied around this and just built it up. It looked like it was going to be a dying thing with baseball cards and collecting cards in general, and just the resurgence is insane. The value of these cards are just going up and up as they go, and the collectability is really cool too. This is so much fun. I see probably 200 people here, like you said, at least 100 tables, and it's packed full of memorabilia and this really awesome stuff here. So.
And you see people wearing putting Cleveland sports gear because they're sports cards, but there's also Pokemon cards here. I see people wearing that kind of gear. I saw someone even representing the Indiana Fever. Who
there you go.
They have what's crazy about that is the WNBA. They're in their playoffs. They're in their semifinal round. Just and this is kind of the excitement we can expect when the WNBA comes in 2028.
Yep.
Indiana, they have 5 of their top players hurt right now.
Yeah.
You still have Kelsey Mitchell, who the person I see, the woman walking around, she's got a Kelsey Mitchell shirt on. You would expect it to be Caitlin Clark, but no, that's how Caitlin Clark has helped expand the WNBA and the reach and the notice of these other great players that are there.
Absolutely.
But you have Kelsey Mitchell, you have Aaliyah Boston, but you don't have Caitlin Clark. You don't have Sophie Cunningham. You don't have Ari McDonald. They have 5 players that have been hurt all year, and yet they get a win in the first round, and they're on to the semis, against a really good Aces team in Las Vegas. Like that, those are the kind of things, that's how competitive basketball is across men's and women's, from college to the pros, and why we should tune in more to that kind of stuff earlier on.
And I think, as like you said, women's basketball comes to Cleveland. It opens up a new space for fandom for Cleveland sports fans, and I'll definitely be rallying around that team. I'm so excited. It's just why not have an opportunity to root for another team that hopefully can be good in the city. So.
And what they're doing already to get word out about them coming is so amazing. They just had a press conference the other day to say to announce more camps that they're doing for kids and girls to help grow the women's side of the game of basketball. It is absolutely amazing to see. As we see J.W. Johnson right in front of us. Browns host the Packers tomorrow, and just to touch on them just a little bit. I know it's not the start that anybody wanted. Some people may have expected it because of what they did in the draft, and that's kind of where they were going.
Right.
But you've seen things where the talent is there, the little things are not still, and that is the biggest thing. Where are you at with only 2 games in? It feels like a sinking feeling, or even like an apathetic feeling already. 2 games in with this Cleveland Browns team.
Yeah, like I said, I've been saying it all summer. I don't have high hopes for the team, unfortunately. Like you said, they do have great pieces. These rookies look phenomenal. Carson Sweater, Harold Fannin, Mason Graham. Even hopefully Quinshawn is going to look really good. He was already our leading rusher after just 1 game. But there are a lot of nice pieces, but we don't have necessarily the quarterback. Joe Flacco's Flacco is. We love Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco, he's 40, he's not very mobile, and he as much as he's prone to throw touchdowns, he's also prone to throw interceptions. It doesn't help that our receivers are not catching the ball right now. But I'm just going to go with the flow. Our schedule's really, really hard. The Packers are no slouch; they're a really good team, and then I think we have Dallas after that. Isn't that crazy?
Detroit.
That's D. Yeah, wrong. Detroit. Yeah. Even harder.
I think this year we'd have a better chance against Dallas.
Yeah.
Than we did last year.
Yeah, week 1 was not fun. Nonetheless, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I don't have a lot of optimism for this team, and that's not me being pessimistic. That's just me being realistic.
Yeah.
I'm still going in to root. I hope we win every game. I would like to finish one, and I would like Stefanski to coach a complete game. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, you know me. I have that. The apathy hasn't just set in. It's been existing for a while.
I think that's where all Browns fans are right now. So,
and I know, the one thing that I hear a lot of people say is they're done with the team, but then they watch and then they call all these radios. And I'm working. I know that. I hear the same voice say I'm done with the team, and then they call in because they watch the game.
Right.
So yes, you're not done with the team. And I'm never going to root for anybody else. I will always root for the Cleveland Browns. I'm watching the games on Sundays. I'm going through the pain, and I put pain in quotations because when they do lose, it doesn't impact me like it used to. It doesn't ruin my Sunday anymore. Yeah. And that's easy. It's easy for me to say and be that way. Other people, they can't. Some people are even more invested than I am. I'm not saying I'm the number one Brown fan or the number one Guardian. I would never try to put myself to that. I know fans try to break themselves and who's got the best tailgate? Oh, I gotta be on social media. I gotta have as great bring all this attention to me, about me instead of we're all in this together, really. We have to go through it together. It doesn't impact me when they lose because I've seen the same story. I'm going to hear what I want to hear throughout the week. Yeah. Doesn't impact me. I'm going to see crap that I don't want to see on Sunday. Doesn't impact me, and they need to prove to me otherwise.
Yeah. I think that, for me, I'm a diehard Browns fan, but when the Browns suck, man, I get really mad. I think what helps is fantasy football. I'm not rooting for other teams, but rooting for individual players.
Our kids?
Yeah. I don't know, just rooting for individual players. Yeah. Even if they play the Browns, I'll hope that my player I'm playing does okay, but doesn't score any touchdowns, or we still win the game. Yeah. It's sad that a lot of us have to use that outlook. Our team sucks, but we still are a fan of the sport. So let's hope our team wins, but expand our horizon to the other players in the league. So
before we open these cards, big question. What game do we see Dylan Gabriel first? And I'm not talking about we saw him last week but that was just because it's just it was Ohio State playing not Grambling, but kind of a team in between them and Ohio. But you still want to get your young guys in there. That type of appearance, but meaningful snaps.
Sure. Yeah.
When do we think we see that first rookie?
I've been saying, hopefully after 6 weeks. The first 6 games is really tough, but I can see. I don't know, man. I want to see him this game, but I don't. The Packers are really good. But the point of this season is to see if the rookies have it. If we have something in Dylan Gabriel, in Shorter Sanders, it's unfortunate. You look at our offensive line and how next year we might need 4 or 5 new starters, and instead of drafting a guard or a tackle, we draft 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs this last year. We don't know a lot of planning, but nonetheless, we have these rookies. They need to play, or else we're just going to draft someone next year. So get these guys in. Realistically, not this week. Maybe at the end of the game if Joe is, in the fourth quarter, like how Dylan got in last time, but sooner or later we got to get these guys in. I'd hope by game 4, but realistically I'd probably say game 6 or 7.
The one positive I can say is this rookie class does look legit that they have brought in here. And then the big question comes down to, yeah, you have the 2 first-round picks next year, and you'd rather take a first. You probably have more confidence in a first-round pick than a third or a fifth. But if a third or a fifth-round pick turn out to be a guy you can rely upon at that quarterback position, that's even better than this. That takes this rookie class from being great to elite.
Yeah, if you can find the quarterback out of that, that'd be incredible. So
yeah. So, but the rookie class is legit. Tune in tomorrow morning. I try not to promote too much of my stuff, but myself and Dale Davison, who also went to Harmony School like I did, and has been a big proponent of this podcast, we will be on ESPN Cleveland tomorrow, 8 to 9 opening drive. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna have a good night of sleep. We're gonna come in. We're gonna try to get everybody hyped up.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to help the cause. Get everybody hyped up for the game against the Packers. I was down, I was down at work yesterday, down in the flats, and I'm telling you, the green and gold, the yellow and green was prevalent walking down in the flats yesterday. So they're going to have a decent amount of already, other fan bases infiltrating our stadium. But
sure,
I know Browns fans will be loud. I just fear that it could quickly turn from cheers to not so nice there in the stadium. But what is nice is that we have 2 packs of NFL cards right here. We have one, and explain kind of how we typically do this. We're probably going to run this for about a week, and we'll announce it on the next show, maybe 2 weeks. Yep. We'll see, how our schedules are going. But how do we typically give away cards from our friends at Greenie Sports Cards?
Yeah, so this beautiful box, unopened, plastic is still on it. You can break it. We'll go on our Twitter. We'll pin it at VTL_pod. All you have to do there is follow us, follow Greenie Sports, our sponsor as well. Go on there, like, comment, tag someone, and you're entered. It's pretty simple. This is an awesome giveaway. We're really grateful for that, and looks like we'll be posting it today. They also did give us one that we could break open for you guys today.
Is this an omen?
Yeah, right.
The boxes have Jordan Love on them.
Right, I don't know, maybe.
Who the Browns are facing off against. Is it an omen, or is it a curse against the Packers tomorrow?
Hopefully it's a curse.
Yeah, so...
nonetheless, we're going to break this open for you guys and see what we got just for fun. Greenie's provided this, and we're really excited. So let's do this. While Kevin's opening these real quick.
So I'm going to give you it, because there's, it says... there's packs of, I think there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 packs in the box, and there's 15 cards in each pack. Cool. I think for right now, we'll just, we don't have a lot of time. We're just going to open each one pack, and then we'll kind of split up the rest of the cards. We can talk about the other cards we see the next show. Cool. But I will let you open first.
All right. I'm not a huge card guy. I wish I was. I just can't afford them.
I haven't collected in a long time, but what's funny is, and I guess I got to find them just like I got to find my LeBron jerseys. I don't know if I ever told you that story about my LeBron jerseys. I had 7 LeBron jerseys the first stint he was here. And I had one, and I would wear it every game day at school, in middle school. And then, the day that he decided to leave, basically, it didn't even cross my mind to burn, I didn't burn jerseys and stuff like that. I saw that afterwards. But when that happened, I went to my room. I neatly folded my jerseys, my T-shirts, all of that, and I put it in, a nice plastic tote that would stay safe from any flooding or issues in the attic. I still, to this day, since 2010, I cannot find that box.
Oh, no.
Between the stuff that I took when I moved from my childhood home to my aunt's house with my mom, as my parents, unfortunately split, I have gone back to my, where my dad is at in our old home. They have to exist, or someone is messing with me and my family.
Yeah, right.
And either sold them or did something to them, and reason why I can't find them. But at some point, I'm going to find them. So those jerseys, plus my neighbor, their kids had 6 or 7 binders of baseball and football cards. They handed them to me one day. They're somewhere. They are somewhere.
Just gotta find them.
Just gotta find them and see what they grade out to be. So I haven't collected in a long time, but I understand. I at least understand the concept.
Yeah, I have a lot of binders from old garage sales and stuff too, but I haven't seen those in years. I think my dad took them. Nonetheless, we're gonna open this. I don't know what's the value. Hopefully, we pull. I don't know, something really awesome here. But
is there a protocol to opening these?
See, I don't know. I've seen people open like the Pokemon cards, and they go to the top here, and they open that. And then they flip one over, but I don't think that matters here.
No, we're gonna flip through these very quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Just gotta be gentle in case there are any of value. All right. Mike Green is rookie card. Jalen Walker, rookie card. These are all rookies. Terrence Ferguson, he's an Oregon tight end now for the Rams, rookie card. Ashton Genty's 2025 rookie card.
Whoa.
That's a good one. Travis Hunter's.
They can give him the ball a bit more.
Right. Travis Hunter's rookie card. I got a Brock Bowers celebration card.
Oh, nice.
A Sack Attack Myles Garrett card.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe that's a good sign for some sacks tomorrow.
A first ballot Ken Houston Oilers card.
Wow.
Don't know that one. Zach Ertz card. Rondé Barber. Kobe Bryant, corner for the Seahawks.
Didn't he go to Cincinnati?
I think he's on a practice squad somewhere now. I'm not sure. College. Yeah. He was with Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
We got, I don't know how to say his name, Diamondre Lenore, corner. Cameron Dicker, the kicker. Tyler Boyd. And our last one is Joe Horn with the Saints.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool. I like that Myles Garrett card a lot.
Well, these do open very easily.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was one of those like candy bars or protein bars you can't ever get into.
Just be careful of those corners.
Yes. All right. So I'm just gonna kind of read these off as we kind of finish. Hey, my boy Jack Sawyer.
Yes.
I just don't like that the helmet is on there.
Right.
I'm gonna not touch the bottom right hand corner on that card. Will Campbell, Cameron Williams. These are all rookies, rookie cards. Mason Taylor for the Jets. Yep. Oh, I got a Travis Kelce.
That's cool.
Card. And then a league leader, it's Jamar Chase. I mean, I know we're Browns fans, but Chase is one of the great wide receivers. DK Metcalf from when he was with the Seahawks. They're calling that a throwback.
Interesting.
He only just started with the
Steelers. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, maybe that's a throwback, maybe to his rookie season or something. Unfortunately, I got the guy that can't get the sack this year, T.J. Watt celebration card. He doesn't have many of those celebrations this year. Right. Grady Jarrett, Cavante Turpin, wide receiver with Dallas.
Yep.
Josh Downs, brother of Caleb Downs, too. They have a great podcast.
Yeah, Downs and Downs podcast. Check it out.
Why I got a second TJ Watt, I don't know. Andrew Van Ginkel, Minnesota. Okay. I got a Joe Thomas.
Nice.
A Joe Thomas card. So I'll take that.
And Myles Garrett there.
And a Patrick Mahomes.
Nice.
So, he hasn't played well this year, but, definitely going to be a Hall of Famer at some point. So some great cards, and those are just two of the packs of the six. So each of us will take two more home, and we will kind of talk about those the next time on the show. Before we close out, we are going to let's touch a little bit on high school football.
Okay.
And we kind of started with the good with the guards.
Yep.
That they're well in the mix to make the playoffs. Will they finish the job? We shall see over the next week or so. Kind of had some, still some fun, some neutrality. We don't have any Ohio State to watch.
Right.
Today.
Yeah.
I mean, I could put myself through football pain if I watch our European football today. Manchester United facing Chelsea. Manchester United that's the football that gives me pain, whether on Saturdays or Sundays. I mean, it's annoying to this point to have a legendary club be that bad as they are, and they're going to lose another coach, like probably their fourth in the last 5 years or whatever it is. I feel like I'm watching the Browns in terms of European football. I haven't reached apathy with them yet because soccer will always be at the top of my list. So, but big games in college football today. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching that. Got a chance to talk to Rob Senderoff. He's out here. Make sure you get out to the Woodside Event Center. They are here until 3. Yep. Greenie Sports Cards, 100 tables of sports cards, and plenty. It looks like a small space when you walk in, but there is plenty of room to move around. I haven't seen really any issues of getting through the aisles and stuff like that. We may take a quick walk once we get off the air. Kind of brought the mood down with the Browns, had some fun with the cards, but high school football is so prevalent right now. And look, I mean, yesterday there were games that went to overtime. Perry, the Pirates, they get a win in overtime over Geneva. I mean, what heartbreakers for Geneva the last 2 weeks. You lose in the last seconds to Hawken in an undefeated matchup last week. Donovan Moorhead goes for over 400 yards passing the quarterback at Hawken. I think he's going to one of the military academies he is committed to.
Nice.
But he has over 400 yards passing, 6 touchdowns in that game. The game-winning 2-point conversion, like they went into the end zone to tie if they would have kicked the extra point. They decide to gamble, go for the 2-point conversion, and get it. Geneva suffers a heartbreaker. Yesterday, you got another back and forth, defense and offense, kind of different momentum swings. Perry and Geneva. Geneva loses in overtime to Perry, and Perry gets back on track last week. Then Hawken at Madison in the CBC, and we're focusing a little bit on the CBC, hey, Peter's the producer and executive producer of CBC TV. Make sure to check out Kyle Cornell and Anthony Alford with their game of the week every single week. But Hawken I think they went to overtime with Madison.
Okay.
They go for 2 to try to win it again. So they score the touchdown to match Madison.
Right.
All you have to do is take the extra point, continue on in overtime. They decide to go for 2 again. Gamble and Madison escapes with a 39-38 win in overtime. How about can I interest you in Massillon? Titletown down there.
Yeah.
They took on St. Ed's. Can you take a guess who won that game?
I mean, I would guess St. Ed's, but
that would be incorrect.
That's crazy.
Massillon has now beat St. Ed's 4
That's amazing.
straight years.
Yeah.
Now 3 of which have been at home, but they did win in Lakewood last year, where St. Ed's typically plays a lot of their home games, whether they are BW. They win 21-14. They were up 21-7 for most of the game.
Wow.
St. Ed's got a late touchdown, tried to go for the onside kick, couldn't get it. And then there was, what you don't want to see, there was a little scuffle at the end. Wadsworth, they are off to a flying start this year. They're 5-0. They had a matchup with Twinsburg, who was 4-0 going into that game for the first time under Coach Charles Salter since he took over 4 years ago. And, they've been kind of like going through the trials and tribulations. They got off to a great start. Dylan Fantone, their quarterback, junior, went for 6 touchdowns last week.
Right.
40-0.
Wow.
Or 39-0. One Twinsburg, a matchup of unbeatens. I mean, there is just such good high school football, and that's only just like a sampling of what we saw yesterday. Cleveland Heights gets a big win at Lorraine. I think they won 33-6. There was some ugly penalties in that game we saw on the live stream. And then coming up this week, you got some more big matchups. I know my alma mater is in a dogfight this week.
Okay.
Kirtland against Wycliffe.
Yeah.
5-0 versus 5-0. As we were halfway through the high school. How are we already?
That's crazy.
How are you already halfway through the high school football season?
That makes no sense to me, bro. It makes no sense.
I just don't understand. It's all here, all this previous football, high school football. And then once you get to the season, it just, unless you're if you're anything but a Browns fan, the season just flies.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't for Browns fans.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we're gonna keep our eye on football because if that's any indication of how the rest of the regular season the playoffs are gonna go, oh man, I mean, there's great football even down all the way in Tuscarawas County, and out where you guys are, we're gonna be heading out your direction actually with our game of the week. It's going to be we have Sandusky Perkins, who
so good.
Really good. Went to the state title last year. They're going to face off against Clyde next week. So that's going to be a good one going west.
Nice.
Big game south, west, east, all over the place next week. So make sure to check that out. We'll try to preview some of that if we get back to our regular scheduled shows on Thursday. We'll keep you updated on social media. Make sure to check out social media. You can win this box of NFL cards. We'll get that posted later on today and get that contest. So make sure to follow all the rules at BTL_pod. We want to thank Steve Greenberg, Jeremy Levine, Greenie Sports Cards for having us out. This has been so much fun.
Real quick. I just want to plug my show tomorrow on the new Inside Edge Network with Peter Telt and Anthony Halford. We are going to do. We've been doing the last 2, but we're going to continue the Browns pregame show with me, my co-host TK. Catch us live at 11, and we'll be going up until the game tomorrow. So we'll be able to check us out on Twitter, and we'll be doing that as well.
So make sure to check that out. So, look, what time you guys go on?
11.
11. So they'll go on at 11. If you tune into another station, you kind of, if you've listened to the show before, you just know what I do. I try not to, again, this is separate from all of that. Try not to convolute everything.
Go check out Kevin on ESPN 850. He does a good job.
Yeah. So 8 to 9, we'll try to get you hyped. Ryan will try to get hyped on the Inside Edge Network at 11, and those guys. So, and then make sure to come out until 3 o'clock today, Woodside Event Center, Broadview Heights, Ohio. Greenie Sports Cards, a great card show going on. We want to thank them for having us out. Thank Peter for the great setup and getting everything rolling so we could go live this morning. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan, for coming on.
Thanks,
this has been so much fun.
Awesome.
The show just continues to grow and grow and grow. We're just going to keep taking it to new heights. I want to thank everyone that's tuned in, or if you tune in on the replay on video or audio, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Kevin R. reminding all of you sports fans out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love everyone in this world. 3,000.
I don't have a send off this week. I don't think of one, but I'm excited. Hopefully the Browns win. Go Browns.
Don't talk about it, be about it, and live life. All gas, no breaks. We'll see you next time right here on the Voice of the Land with LPD Productions, partnered with Greenie Sports Cards.